This is tutorial 7-2 in GIS Tutorial Workbook 2. In this exercise, we're going to be adding weights to centers. Now, sometimes some points are more important than others. And one way they're going to show us this is actually the type of calls that are being made. So we're going to first go into Properties for calls for service. And we're going to go to Fields. And we're going to turn off everything except for station, description, and FEE. The reason for that is it's just going to be a lot easier looking in the attribute table with 3 things rather than as many as there were. And what they want you to see is that a 10 would be a car accident with an injury, whereas a 2 could be a commercial alarm malfunction. Let's see some of the other ones. They have a 1 here, fireworks violation investigation, some more false alarms. An 8 would be medical assistance. A 9 would be a motor accident with injuries. A 2 could be a 911 hang up. A 3, public service assistance, stuff like that. Smoke detector activation due to malfunction. So these lower number accounts aren't going to really affect where they want to place stations. They're more interested in getting to the major, more serious incidents. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a mean, median, and central feature center, but we're going to add weights to them. So we're going to go into our toolbox, and we're going to go to our spatial statistics tools, our measuring geographic distance, and we're going to start with mean. And we're going to use calls for service as our feature class. I'm going to name this one mean W. And as we looked in the attribute table, FEE is the weighing field, and our case field is station. Now, if you create your own shapefile and want to add a weight to it, to be able to do this, the more serious number has to be the higher number. Sometimes when you're weighing something, maybe a low number is a desirable number, but in this case, the higher number is the more desirable case for this tool. So you're just going to click OK. Okay, and it finished. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn off calls for service. And I'm going to make it a green star. And I'm going to add the one that we created in the previous exercise. And I'm going to make that a yellow star. As you can see, they're pretty much all on top of each other. So in this case, the weight didn't really matter for placing of anything. Now we're going to do this again, but with the median. Okay, we're just going to click OK. And I'm going to turn off the mean and the mean weight. We're going to make this green. And we're going to insert or add the median from our earlier exercise. And this one is to be expected to be similar to what the mean results were. In comparison wise, they're all close to each other still. There's still a little difference, but nothing huge. And what we're going to do last is we're going to find out which fire department should be the meeting place when taking into consideration the number of employees. Obviously, the station with the most employees, you're not going to want to have to bring all those people to another station. It's best to just use theirs. But you don't want to do that if they're way out of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our ARC toolbox and we're going to do a central feature. Oh, actually, we have to select our stations first because, as you remember, we have some stations outside our area of interest. So station equals 1 and so on. Now we can use our tool. And we are going to choose active stations. I'm going to just call this one Central W. We want to use the Manhattan distance, number of employees as our weight, and then click OK. Now we're going to clear our selection. And you can kind of see where the dot is, but we're just going to make it a big green star so it's more easily seen. And if you remember from the previous exercise, station 2 was the original central. But when you take into account employee numbers, 5 is now the most central location. And that's it for this tutorial.